What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your 6-star silver preview of Roman Reigns' Rockin' Reigns. First off, the rock and roll aesthetic, right? You've got the leather jacket, you got the fringy kind of looks there. Who we thinking he looks like? Drop it in the comments section. Is this a Bon Jovi look? Is this Aerosmith? Is this, I don't know, Leonard Skinner? Who is this look most reminiscent of to you? But either way, the rock and roll character for this Legends-based event, and he is a Legends era powerhouse, focused type. So he does replace he is the new powerhouse version of Roman Reigns. So we get one in there. He is A tier, which is interesting because a lot of the Roman Reigns characters are A tier or lower, right? There's not really too many, maybe the mutant one, but he's pretty rare, that are S plus tier, that are, in terms of fighting ability. His links, of course, Legends era, 10% more damage on gems, and currently just the standard gear. He is a coach, and at 26k, purple gems do 30% more damage, and moves that generate purple gems will create 3 more purples. That's a good coaching ability. I'd love to see the percentages be closer to that 45 to 50%, but let's be honest, that's rare. But this is good for your purple gem damage dealers, especially with that create 3 bonus. He has a number of different move sets. Let me put the first one up here on the screen. This one is primarily focused on acrobats. So on the bottom, you are doing the Lariat Takedown, which increases your green MP by 7. It's a blue move. Then you've got your Spear, which is a hardcore. It's your green. It deals damage, makes 25 random gems into cross-break gems. And if the opponent's class is Acrobat, you're going to deal damage and force your opponent to skip their turn, which is only 1 turn. But because you're creating so many cross-break gems, you're guaranteed to blow up the board. So as long as there's at least 7 blue, or actually technically 6 blue or 7 green, because you get 1 each turn, then you are reloaded flawlessly every turn. Then the Samoan Drop deals damage plus another set of damage for every cross-break gem. Your entourage, you are going to want Lawler to start loaded turn 1, unless he's got some CSS monthly boost for some reason. I'm using the new Hall of Fame Tori for crossbreak gems, do 75% more damage. She, I believe, does go higher at 26k. Let's check her real quick. 26k crossbreak gems will do 100% more damage. So yours will hit harder if you have her maxed out. I then have your old zombie trickster Cena for crossbreak gems, do 25% more damage, plus creating 1 more crossbreak gem. That's big because even though he only buffs 25%, that's adding 1 more to the buff that Tori is doing. And then right here, I don't have Showboat Randy Orton, but if you had Showboat Randy Orton, you could put crossbreak gems, do 12k more damage. Instead, I'm just doing a flat red because that'll buff all gem his primary color gem damage. If you wanted to buff more gem colors, you could use some of the percentage trainers for green or blue. But since red's his primary color and we're not concerned about filling up the MP, that's the direction I'm going. On the strap, I have my preview strap, which is only a 30% gem damage strap. However, I do have a metal that's doing an additional 22.75%. So all said and done, that's basically a 50% gem damage strap, not too far out of reach for most. And then Double Fury 2, which is also becoming more available to most. On your plates, I don't have the Sheamus crown plate on my own account, which I believe would buff crossbreak gems if I remember. And then Roman does have his own plate, which isn't going to be right here, but we will have a preview from the Twitch account. That's the candy store account, the one that has everything later on, and you can see that damage that way. But this way keeps it relatively accessible to most. Let's see how he does against an acro. All right, we are up against 6-star Mr. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You're going to go ahead and lay down your Lariat, which is going to refill your green moves. You're going to stun and drop some cross breaks, 26 cross breaks with that extra one from Cena, and then he's stunned for 1 turn. Bonus damage for every cross break gem. So you'll see this does about 5 million, 4.7 million, right around in there. And then you're just going to make a swipe because you should be able to blow up the whole board, should flawlessly reload. This does about 4 to 5 million damage. Oh, actually, that only did 3 million that time. Wow. In testing, it was much greater. But guess what? Doesn't matter because they're stun locked. Drop that. He's going to be done right here. So, not too shabby. Normally, I try and figure out the 6-star damage for you because I'm running, or 6-star silver because I'm running 6-star bronze preview. Since this is already a 6-star silver preview, this is his top end damage, except for plates. So that's that moveset. Let me show you a slight variation on it that may hit just a little bit harder. Second moveset we are going to look at is the triple greens. The only move we're swapping out is the Scoop Power Slam. Still primarily against acros that this is really going to work. But this move's interesting. So the Scoop Power Slam deals damage and increases your gem damage by 57% for 1 turn. Now, note, it does say wildcard gem damage, which would not work whatsoever on there. However, in conversation with Merrick's and Goldie, they pointed out that this is actually the same visual glitch that a previous version of Roman Reigns had, where it said wildcard, but it actually buffed all of his gem damage. So we are going to try it out because without that, this move is useless. But with it, this is a strong moveset. Nothing else has changed other than the trainer being George Steele so that we start loaded with our green moves. And then we just don't have a path to get back if we don't get blue/green. Last time we had 2 colors we could do. You could have used the plate that buffs from one to the other. But really, we're blowing up the board. We should be fine. And as the last move set, if you had the Sheamus crown or, of course, Roman's new plate, he will hit insanely harder. So let's see what this looks like against that same little steamboat. I called him a little steamboat. It made me think it was like little engine that could kind of thing. I don't know. All right, so we want to test this. So 57% to all gem damage. So let's look at our greens. Right now they're 56k. And our blues are 47. So 56 and 47. We hit the move, right? Kablooey. Now let's see 89 and 75. So confirmed, it is a visual glitch. It's all gem damage. This moveset will hit harder. So there's no reason not to use this moveset then. Let's do it. You're going to hit that. You're going to go ahead and do damage for every cross break gem, which is going to do at this point 4.67 million because the bonus damage from this is not impacting the bonus damage from that, just a note. But it will, of course, impact this swipe I'm about to do. It should blow up the whole board. He should be done. I don't see why not. Yeah, 6 million. So all said and done, that's about a 10 million per turn cycle. So not overpowered, but in that A tier range. Flawless recycle. If you're fighting acrobats, you're going to stun lock them. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let's take a look at something a little different, though. Our next move set is going to be triple red. This one is interesting because instead of cross break gems, now we are making X break gems. But of course, you see it like I see it. There is a pyro down there. And there's also some insane move damage possibilities. So this moveset alone, we can do 3 or 4 variations of. I am going to run it with the Piper plate. I am going to run it with some move damage stuff. But for right now, let's go with the most basic that people will typically have in this regard, which would be on the bottom. The shoulder block deals 710k damage. That's important because anything north of 500-600k is worth considering on move damage trainers. And then you've got the 5x1 area that you make into pyro, which modifies everything above it into X breaks gems. So you're talking Yeah, you're talking a good portion of the board, or X break. Then you've got the Samoan Splash, which chooses a 5x1 area to swap red, which breaks that, plus basically is going to reload your moves by itself. That's pretty nice. And then your Superman Punch, which deals another 700 plus K damage, and then bonus damage for every X break gem. So this variation, first of all, we are going to use an entourage that gets us the X break gems. That's the safest, that's the cleanest. This is what most people will have access to. Omos, a little bit rare, and Kane has been on prize walls and given away in an easier sense before, but he's also a little bit more rare. Adjust accordingly for who you don't have. This would be Butch for red moves, start with 4 MP. Honky Tonk for X-Break gems do 50% more damage. Omos for X-Break gems do 100% more damage. And Zombie Kane for X-Break gems do 25% more damage and create 1 more. So now we are doing on the finisher a bonus of 260k per X-Break gem, and you've got all but 2 columns that are going to be X-Break gems. That's insane. For this version of it, I'm only going to run the 2 words for you. I will add the Piper plate just so we can see that as a variation in a moment. Nothing else has changed. So he does start loaded turn 1. Pyro is going to go out. You're going to put it on the bottom, and really it doesn't really matter what you connect it with because it's X-Break gems that are going to go. And you'll notice the 2 words for you did throw a couple out. Unfortunately, I threw them where there was already going to be something. So, you know, there's that. 5x1 is going to create a wild card gem, so there is the chance, yep, that right there. That is exactly the one downfall of this moveset. So, now he's going to sleeper me and ruin things. So I'm going to cut right here and we're going to try this again. Okay, trying this again. You just saw the fatal flaw of this moveset. That was it right there. What you didn't see was that Steamboat had his sub move ready as soon as I was done. And there was no way to come back. Like, he was going to whoop me on there. So we're going to try it again and hope that we don't drop. Woo! Okay, now we can see what it looks like without. But notice, your red moves are reloaded. So if there were a plate that were red moves, you know, like the Chic plate or the Ghost Whopper for yellow, yeah, that would be insane damage you could do with this. Now you can choose another 5x1 area to go, but you're not going to do that. You could do some more Pyro Gems, but you're not going to do that because no matter what you do now, you're going to break the board. So from this point forward, if you had, my point being was if you had a red move plate that would trigger each move, then you just use the move, but then you don't apply the effect, right? You just skip it. For now, though, you're going to do this. It's bonus damage for every X-Break gem. He's got 10 million health. Let's see what happens here. Bam, 8 million. 8 million. And now he's blowing up a good portion of the board. He's going to get his sub again. So right here, we're down again to where we are going to get into a sub lock cycle with him unless, hey, look at that. There's the utility of those moves. Congratulations, we figured it out. We are not genius. Anyway, so you can see, I mean, powerful moveset. It does have its fatal flaws. We're going to see one more attempt right here. See if we blow up the board. We do not, so that's nice, but now our red move is not loaded because of his sub. So we do have the ability, of course, just to go ahead and break these, turn them red. Let's do that. That's going to reload our moves. Blah, blah, blah. Boom. There you go. So, yeah, it has some fatal flaws, but definitely a powerful moveset. About 8 million on that finisher. Should flawlessly recycle if they don't sub you to death. Let me show you a variation, though. Same moveset, same fight. The only big difference, as you can see right there-ish, is the Piper's Power Plate, which means, you know, if you look at this gem right here, it's 65k. You drop the Pyro Gems down. Oh, this is going to be a problem with those double black right there. Anyway, you can still see that that is now at 99k. So the Piper's Power buffed all of our gems up by 100%. Let's just see if this causes problems. Yep, boom, it did. but still did 6 million damage, and apparently he can't kick out from that. So you can see, obviously it just adds some power. One last variation on this specific moveset. All right, last variation of the triple red moveset. This time we are buffing the move damage. So everything is changing out. Trainer-wise, we've kept Butch, but we've switched over to Finn for red moves that deal damage. Will deal 100% more damage, plus 2 more MP, so additional loading of the moves there. If there are CSS, you could actually use Finn and then maybe swap out something else for Butch instead that does additional red move damage. Then I've got Bret Hart on there for finishers do 50% more on red, and then Snoop for 25% more all red move damage. So now his finisher's up to 2 million, his shoulders block is up to 1.5, and the Samoan splash is up to 1.3. That's a lot of move damage overall. And so in order to buff this up, I've swapped out my Fury 2s for Takedown 2s. So we're at 355% overall with the tested loyalty on our move damage. That is the plate that I've swapped out. Whenever you break 6 or more red gems, increase your red move damage by 75% for 2 turns. So just note, he makes a 5x1 area red, so this will not go off the turn 1. However, the Piper plate that's on there still will, so there's lots of gem damage in addition to the move damage. And again, his plate, which you'll see in another preview video, does buff that as well. So let's see this. All right, because of Finn, we're starting loaded turn 1 on all moves. Since it's 7 and 10 charge, I would not take off your other MP trainer unless he has CSS bonus. So we're right now doing 3.4 million on the shoulder block, 2.9 million on the Samoan splash, and 5 million on the Superman punch. So we've seen that this is a little tricky of a move to not... let's put it, goodness. No matter what, this is prone to cascade. This is the fatal flaw of this moveset. But either way, we've already done 3.4 million damage. There's another 3, and then you could hit the finisher instead. It won't do everything, but if you didn't want to cascade, you could just wipe that out right there. So there's another 3 million. So we're over 6 million in move damage, and let's just... Nope, boom, he got him. But another 5 million gem damage right there too. So, I mean, that's an 11 million hit and things didn't go right. I could run it again, but this will be a long video if we keep trying to account for that red move not going right. So that move damage plus gem damage stack is actually pretty darn stout right there. All right, this is the last variation of the move damage setup, and obviously the big change is that leaping clothesline, which increases your red move damage by 100% for 1 turn. I struggled where to put it in because obviously you would want to buff the finisher. That's going to be the biggest way to go. However, then there's no real recycle because you've got the, what do you replace? I mean, the lowest damage is the Samoan splash, but then you throw down the pyro gems and don't necessarily have a way to break them, which means you don't, etc. So I'm going to try it this way. May swap it out one last time, but good Lord, this would be a long preview with all that. But since I am not running the finisher, I did swap in Dawkins because instead of 50% on the finisher, it's 10% overall, and you just kind of go from there. So let's show you this. Since the blue move is a 2 MP move, it's always pretty much going to be loaded, and it should recycle flawlessly for every other thing. So now you're doing 6 million on the Samoan splash and 7 million on the shoulder block. That's why I wasn't too upset about losing the finisher, but just in case, I'll show you that one. As we go, you're going to drop this down, try not to cascade, although as we've seen, it's pretty ridiculous. You did your 7 million damage, you do your 6 million damage. They're pretty well wiped out from that. That's pretty much it. And then why not blow up the board? That sounds good. That sounds good. This feels a lot better because the cascade doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's my favorite moveset of his, bar none. I'll show you the finisher damage real quick, and then we're going to the after party. Last moveset variation, once again, since you've kept your trainer, your Butch, and you've got Finn on there, your finisher does start loaded turn 1. And now here's the trick. So we've got a 4 million finisher and a 3 million shoulder block. We're going to miss the button. We're going to buff those up right now. Now we have an 8 million finisher and a 6.8 million shoulder block. That is insane. Now the trick is you're going to want to lay these down where you would break the pyros. You really don't care about the X-break side of this as much because unfortunately you're not using the bonus damage from, you're not going to take a swipe because the move right here is 1 turn, and you'll want to hit 8 million damage right now. So you're not really concerned about the X-break gems at all at this point. You just have them there if you need it, right? So 8 million damage, and they're done. That's the end, right? So this, I changed my mind. This is my favorite moveset of his. You don't need to worry about the X-breaks at all. So let's go to the after party and chat with Rusty.
Okay, it's gnarly, it's radical, it's bodacious, it's
tubular,
totally 80s, retro rewind. And now we got I Love Rockin' Reigns. Put another dime in the tribal chief, baby. Sorry.
Oh. At least it's not a roll of quarters. Ooh, hey.
So, we'll keep it PG.
Yep.
You've just done a pretty radical preview of Rockin' Roman. One thing I noticed was the mullet. Beyond the mullet, I have a lot of questions for you.
Yes, I have thoughts. We'll see.
Tell us what you think about, I would say not only Reigns, but what are you seeing in this MLC as these new retro legends? Are there any themes that are coming out? Do they have anything in common? Is there any developmental ties that you might have picked up on?
Well, yeah. First off, they're all music based, we're noticing. In fact, you noticed that in our faction chat and called for a Flock of Seagulls showboat Cody Rhodes, and now I can't unthink that, and I want it. So
new wave nightmare. That's what I was hoping.
New wave nightmare. You heard it first on Champions Chat. No, we don't have inside information. We just want it. We want it so bad we can taste his haircut.
It's aspirational, not informational.
That's right. That's right. No, so all of them Legends era. I think that's obviously the trend. I mean, that's the way it's going. And most of them fill in a gap in the Legends era that we desperately needed. Like Shinsuke last week with the Trickster Legends, they're just not any relevant Trickster Legends in the game right now. And we do know, and it's public knowledge that, you know, from behind the scenes stuff, that getting licensing on these characters these older legends is difficult, right? So in order to fill gaps on our rosters, this is a great plan. However, this is the one character where this might not be a gap filler, because if you've been playing since last year at least, there was Legends era Clubber Lang, and
Rocky.
So he is. I mean, we'll get into where Roman fits in that. I think Roman is better than Clubber Lang in a lot of ways, but they do different things. So it's not like, you know, it's kind of 1A, 1B sort of scenario. But if you have Clubber Lang, you don't necessarily, you're not hurting for a powerhouse Legends era. What you are hurting for is, unless you have mutant Roman, you are hurting for a good Roman, and this is a good.
Yeah, exactly. I said something on Discord earlier today, and it was like, I think this might be the Roman the community's been wanting, right?
Yeah.
And of course, somebody wrote, "Well, what about Acro Roman?" And I was like, I didn't even consider him because
Congrats if you have him. He's super
he's so
rare.
top shelf that I just didn't, that didn't even cross my mind. So as far as the weekend superstar, this one might be winnable, pullable, attainable for a portion of the community. Lee, not only, I'll say this about me, and I want to get it back to you. Not only does, you said they kind of fill a space in the Legends era of our roster, I think this Roman fills a space in a desperately needed coaching spot that I need, and that's a purple gym coach. I don't have Modu Ray, and I don't have Hall of Fame Taker. So like there's two of the colors that I have a limited efficacy about what I can actually do. No matter how good the superstar is, I don't have the right gym trainers. So this Roman gives me a lot of hope. What about the gameplay itself? What did you notice? Maybe that wasn't on your preview video, but just kind of behind the scenes, director's cut, buddy. Tell me your secrets.
No, actually, it ended up on the preview video at the end. So I started where I think most people are going to start, which is that green, maybe green-blue combination, but triple green. And against Acrobats, that's going to be a great way to go. Cross break. I don't have Seamus Crown, so I couldn't see the fullness of that damage. But at the end, as I was playing with, okay, does anything else seem like it fits? And I lost that one blue move that bumps the red damage. And I was like, I guess I'll try it. But in my mind, initially, it didn't fit because it interrupts the other, like triple red flows. This doesn't flow at all, but you don't need it to. Like if you have Finn Balor Showboat, which I finally got, he's in the bags this month, so you should be able. You've got him. What are you giving me that hoity-toity?
I know. That was
you had him long before I did.
I was like, but I've been having him.
That's right. If you have Bret Hart, which Legends Era Tech Bret Hart is not as rare as he once was. He's out there. And then if you can just do takedown 2, which are far more common than takedown or than Fury 2.
Yes.
If you get a move damage strap for yours, literally, he's hitting for, and now again, obviously our preview was 6-star silver because we're going to be on the Twitch channel tonight. He was hitting for 9 million with one move and 7 million with the other. Maybe it's not going to scale into 6-star gold, I would guess.
We don't know.
For right now, it is insane. Plus the versatility of cross break gems, pyro gems, X break gems, stun, right? So you've got a lot of things you can do with this guy that will keep him relevant for a longer period of time. But for me, the 3-minute move set that we dropped, that's the version that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where he fits on my roster. I now want him.
What's a little different is this isn't just another gym damage based superstar. This isn't another redundant okay, I'm gonna put Nikki ASH and I'm gonna put Tech Stacy and I'm gonna put Santa Hogan. I just think we've seen a lot of that developmentally in the 6-star meta. And so I'm excited that for me, that's the common thread in these retro rewinds is that not only are they diverse, but they're not only gym damage based. They're getting back to strong move damage superstars.
Yep, and he is strong. If they ever introduce, and forgive me if there is one and I'm silly about it, but if they ever introduce a red version of the Sheik plate, this guy is insane.
I don't know.
That would throw him
seance
through.
Plate might be the only close, and that's like
red
super rare. But like red does more red. Red does more red, right?
Right now, as we record this, I'm pretty sure green Sheik Plate and Ghost Whopper Yellow are the only move ones that are like that in there. Now, however, we did not yet get to preview his plate, which we will be doing on the Twitch stream, and we will be recording that, which means check back for another video to see even more damage with Roman's glasses plates. Anything else before we go?
No, just come on, man. Join us on Twitch on Friday nights, whether you're watching this today or we've got a stream coming up soon on Fridays. We're having a lot of fun with the community, and it's where we actually get to show our personality as well as some of our in-game intelligence, more Lee so than myself. But we want to have fun with you guys on Friday night, and these previews are really just the tip of the iceberg. And I think what I'm hoping and what Lee hopes as well, I'll speak for him, is that we want you to top our builds in the comments. We want you to innovate what we've only gotten to preview. We've only had this superstar on our roster for less than 2 hours. And so as you come up with better things and as new things develop, please share them with us. Please share them with your faction and share them in the comments so that we can all get better as the Champions community. Back to you, Lee.
All right. Well, that's it for this 6-star silver preview of Roman Reigns, Rockin' Reigns. Let us know what you think in the comment section. The college mullet?
Acknowledge mullet instead of
acknowledge the mullet. Yeah, that's what they should.
I know, that's terrible.
Acknowledge the mullet. Well, acknowledge us by sharing, and subscribing. Send this over your faction mate who's asking, hey, I just got this guy. How do I run him? Send the 3-minute moveset as well. Those are helpful. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.